Hey everyone, welcome. It's Tony D and Little Joan here with your Hollywoke hot take. All things Hollywoke. Let's get started. 41 Hollywood celebrities who tweeted support for the Lincoln Project. There's a lot of people I could care less about, but a lot of these people are very disappointing because I'm big fans and I just hate to see these guys get sucked into it. Some of the names you know the pictures. Deborah Messing, of course, big sufferer of TDS. Dave Bautista, Mark Hamill. Ooh, Luke Skywalker, that hurts. Ghostbusters actress Leslie Jones. Really, it should be girl Ghostbusters actress Leslie Jones. Comedian Chelsea Handler, who tweeted, "I've become sexually attractive to the Project Lincoln." Or the Lincoln Project. Donators included Rob Reiner, Jeffrey Katzenberg, Jason Bateman, and Jennifer Aniston. Talked about that yesterday. Others included Harrison Ford. Ooh, that hurts. Sam Elliott. Ouch. Mark Hamill. Martin Sheen. That's not surprising. Martin Sheen. Very political for a long time. Very left-leaning. Pop star and Biden surrogate John Legend, of course. Promoted a Lincoln Project attack ad against Trump less than 2 weeks before the election. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy star Dave Bautista, Chris Evans, Jane Lynch, Ben Stiller, Jamie Lee Curtis, Judd Apatow, Zach Braff, Elizabeth Banks, Alyssa Milano, of course, Cher, Bette Midler, very bad case of TDS. Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Adam Scott. Oof, disappointing. Sophia Bush. Jim Gaffigan. Padma Lakshmi? I don't know her. Leslie Jones. Bradley Whitford. I'm not sure I know him. Stephen King, of course. Yeah, he's in my feed because I'm in writers groups, and he would come up all the time. Josh Gad. Ellen Barkin. Vincent D'Onofrio. Yep. Matthew Modine. Ken Jeong. Yep. Mia Farrow. John Leguizamo. Ron Perlman. Really bad case of TDS. Was constantly tweeting really vulgar and disgusting stuff about Trump. Rick Wilson, Henry Winkler, Ava DuVernay, Mia Servino, Kristen Johnston, Wanda Sykes, of course, Eric Roberts. Oh, I didn't hear about him. Sandra Bernhard. Where'd they dig her up? Christina Applegate. Ooh, that hurts. Ken Olin, Joshua Molina, don't know that person, and that's about it. I guess I got them all. Yeah, I know, Joan. I know. It's sad. It's sad to see some of these names. So, if you remember these names and remember who they supported. Remember they supported the Lincoln Project, a group of essentially neocons, a group that was co-founded by a guy who turned out to be some kind of predator, it sounds like. Yeah, maybe you ought to think twice about seeing that movie or TV show. Maybe pass to something else, someone who's maybe not that political. Right, Joan? Joan's very adamant about the Lincoln Project, I think. So why don't you sit up here with me, okay? You happy? Continuing. Saturday Night Live under fire for skit slammed as transphobic. And the revolution eats its own is the quote I've been hearing all day today. A recent Saturday Night Live skit was slammed as transphobic over a joke about President Biden's reversal of transgender military ban. Oh, they have the joke here. President Biden signed an executive order repealing Trump's ban on transgender people serving in the military. It's good news, except Biden is calling the policy "Don't Ask, Don't Tuck," which is not good news, joked SNL cast member Michael Che. Yeah, I agree it's not funny. Um, but transphobic. Calm down. Calm down is my response to that. It's Saturday Night Live. They're supposed to say outrageous things. People who are offended by this, maybe get a sense of humor. But this is the big one. Brendan Gleeson, Jeff Daniels get Golden Globe nods for their roles in anti-Trump Showtime series, The Comey Rule. And I just watched the trailer for this, and as you all know, I do a screenwriter's rant about trailers, and let me tell you, this is one of the, it's just basically the Democrats rewriting history. They portray Comey as a great hero, an honest man who is suddenly pulled into a world based on a New York Times bestseller. I bet it was a New York Times bestseller because I bet the New York Times did nothing but promote it. Anyhow, Comey's the hero, Sally Yates is the hero, and of course Trump is like a mob boss who likes to be, on. The Steele dossier is considered the big thing in this movie. This is the guy right here. He's talking about the Steele dossier. For those of you who don't remember, the Steele dossier is laughably fake. It's laughably fake if you know anything about Trump. Because what it basically said is when Trump... First off, they even add the part about that the Russians had been grooming Trump since the 80s. Since prior to the fall of the Soviet Union, the Soviets were grooming Trump. Okay? That's what they say. There is zero evidence of that. And, you have to be a total nutbag to believe this stuff. But the dossier P-tape thing was probably the worst part of this whole dossier because it made zero sense if you know Trump. And as a person who lived in South Jersey most of his life and saw Trump and his casinos and, he did the same thing. He ran his casinos just like he ran the country. The same exact way. He was in the newspaper all the time. He was on TV. He would say outrageous things. He would fight with union bosses and rivals, and he did the same exact tactics, same exact, right? And he was a playboy, and he banged hot chicks all the time. Now, the dossier said he stayed in some hotel in some fancy suite where the Obamas had stayed. So he paid a bunch of Russian hookers to pee on him and pee on the bed because he thought that was some sort of revenge against the Obamas. Now you're talking about a guy who actually owned hotels. And, the Obamas didn't own the hotel. The Obamas, I guess, stayed there once, but so what? So what? I've sat on chairs and stayed in the hotel rooms. Who cares? I have no connection to those rooms. They're not mine. I don't own them. So if you were to go and pee in one of them, what would I care? How would that hurt me? Makes zero sense. Especially if you own hotels and understand that it's the help that's going to be cleaning that up. It ain't going to be, anyone. Here's the dinner that Comey had, and he plays Comey, and Brendan Gleeson plays Trump. And I got to say, I had to come find this trailer just to hear his accent. He does a pretty good Trump. It's a pretty good Trump. Gleeson is a great actor if you've never seen him. Jeff Daniels, he's Jeff Daniels. He's way too, first off, he's way too handsome for Comey. He doesn't look anything like him. And he's just basically Jeff Daniels in this. But they make out Comey and everybody around him, oh my God, he's so honest and wonderful. And, Trump is such a bad man. His wife even cries at some point. Or the woman who plays his wife. It is just a joke. They are trying to rebuild the reputations. It's like every time. Remember when The Simpsons would always do a parody of some dramatization, like when Bart got arrested because they thought he had killed Skinner, because they thought he was a mobster, and then they bought the rights to the story and they completely over dramatized it. This is that. And it's just hilarious to watch. I mean, it's sad too, because it's Hollywood, their arm of the Democratic Party, desperately trying to rewrite history. They want you to believe this. And the P tapes are the most, I mean, it's so dumb that Trump would pay women to do that to him. And on top of that, the idea that the Russians would have anything on Trump, the most shameless man who has ever walked the face of God's green earth, a man who wouldn't think twice about going, that's not me on the tape. That's not me. It's not me. Guy looks like me. It's not me. That's exactly what he would say if you confronted him with the tape. And it would work. It would work because Trump would push that. He would push that hard. He would be an insanely bad risk to blackmail. You would have to get Trump on something. You would have to get Trump on like murder. And even then it would be tough because he'd do the same thing. He would just lie his way out of it. So why would the Russians pick a guy like him? There are so many other people who are haughty and arrogant, Hillary Clinton amongst them, that you could blackmail till the cows came home. Oh my God, you could blackmail Hillary Clinton easily. Easily. She's got an ego. She is not shameless. Oh, she has some shame. She does. A lot of people. There's a lot of people in Washington. The Obamas. Absolutely the Obamas. There are so many people in Washington that are compromised. This is one of the reasons they've always hated Trump. They couldn't compromise him. He was already, just Trump. Everybody knows his deal. See, look. I'm just Jeff Daniels. I mean, Comey. I'm really a good guy. Oh, God, Trump. Oh, no, Trump. He wants so much loyalty. The Comey Rule. So not only do they make this, then they give it awards to sort of validate it and say, oh, this was good. Oh, I'm very smart. I saw the Comey Rule. Oh, I know the deal now. It was based on a book. Oh, so it's not just made up. They can't just make up books about this sort of thing. It's just unbelievable. But I want to end on a high note, because I'm always down on celebrities. I'm always bashing them. But here's a celebrity who stood up and said something sensible and doesn't seem to play that game. And I've always had respect for him, but I never knew his feelings one way or another, because he was never really a political guy. He's a guy who stays out of politics, and God bless him for it. But here is Denzel Washington stepping up. I don't care for people who put down the police and soldiers who sacrifice their lives so we have the freedom to complain about what they do. Good for you, man. Good for you. And it's well worded too. Like, he's not taking a side here. He's not trying to be political. But he's saying, back to F off. Leave police and soldiers alone. He's not making a political stance, although I'm sure people would twist it as such. Another quote: I have the utmost respect for what they do, for what our soldiers do that sacrifice their lives. I just don't care for people who put those kinds of people down. Good for you. Finally, someone coming out of Hollywood who hasn't lost their damned minds. It's just, come on, man. At least there's one person in Hollywood who I shouldn't even say he's standing up to the cancel culture mob or anything. He's not. He's just being normal. He's just being a dignified human being who's saying, cops and soldiers are good in general. He's not worshiping them either, like we did back in 2000 when everybody lost their minds then. He's just saying, yeah, I don't care for people who put down police and soldiers who sacrifice their lives so we could have the freedom to complain about what they do. Yeah, I don't care for them. Yeah. Neither should you.